New Orleans is a city that breathes music, not as metaphor, but as literal fact. Walk any block in the French Quarter on any evening, and the sound finds you before you find it. A trumpet line drifting from behind shuttered doors, a second line parade turning a corner with drums and brass and dancing strangers who were standing still just a moment ago. This city does not perform for visitors. It performs for itself. You are simply welcome to listen. New Orleans sits in the crescent bend of the Mississippi River in southeastern Louisiana, a city built on swampland and stubbornness. Its geography is improbable. Much of the city sits below sea level, protected by a system of levees and pumps that wage a constant negotiation with water. The climate is subtropical, heavy and humid in summer, mild and luminous in the cooler months between October and April, which is when most visitors come. Getting there is easy. Louis Armstrong International Airport connects to most major cities, and the city itself is compact enough that its essential neighborhoods can be explored on foot, by streetcar or by bicycle. The French Quarter is the oldest neighborhood, the one that draws the eye first. Its architecture is less French than Spanish. Most of the original French colonial buildings burned in the great fires of the 18th century, and what replaced them was Spanish colonial. Wrought-iron balconies, interior courtyards hidden behind carriage gates, shuttered windows above narrow streets. Jackson Square anchors the quarter, the spires of St. Louis Cathedral rising above the live oaks, and street artists and fortune-tellers who have claimed the square as their stage for generations. But the quarter is only the introduction. The Garden District, upriver along the St. Charles streetcar line, is the counterpoint. Grand antebellum mansions set behind live oaks, draped in Spanish moss. The architecture of old Southern wealth preserved in a canopy of green. Lafayette Cemetery, number 1, walled and quiet, contains the above-ground tombs that are characteristic of New Orleans burial. The water table sits too high for conventional graves. The Marigny and Bywater neighborhoods downriver from the quarter are where the city's creative energy has migrated in recent years. Frenchman Street in the Marigny is the locals' answer to Bourbon Street, live music pouring from every door, but with more jazz and less spectacle. The Bywater is quieter still, a neighborhood of shotgun houses painted in improbable colors, community gardens, and corner bars where nobody is in a hurry. New Orleans food is not a cuisine, it is a religion. Gumbo, that slow-simmered, roux-based stew of okra and shellfish, and whatever the cook decides belongs. Crawfish boiled with corn and potatoes and enough cayenne to make your lips tingle. Po' boys, overstuffed sandwiches on French bread, fried shrimp or roast beef with gravy spilling from the sides. Beignets at Café du Monde, the powdered sugar dusting your shirt before you take the first bite. The chicory coffee, dark and bitter alongside. Red beans and rice on Mondays, a tradition that dates to wash day when the beans could simmer unattended. The music is the current that runs beneath everything. Jazz was born here in the early 20th century from the collision of African rhythms, European harmony, Caribbean syncopation and blues. It remains a living tradition, not preserved in amber, but evolving nightly in clubs and on street corners and in churches on Sunday morning. New Orleans has been battered by hurricanes, by floods, by poverty, by the weight of its own history. And it has rebuilt every time with a resilience that borders on defiance. The city carries its wounds visibly. It also carries its joy visibly. Both are real. Both are present in every conversation, every meal, every song. Go slowly, eat everything, listen to the music. Let the city set the tempo. It knows what it is doing.